Hello. Oh, interesting. Okay. Set everything up. I think this is as high as it goes. No. I was wondering how low that was going to go. And VSync on. Strange spot to have all these settings at. Oh no. It was just set to 48. Alright. Alright, let's see. Is this still showing up good? Save the changes. Yes. Okay, I'm using a PS3 controller to play this. Lost Planet and Dead Rising are two games that I think might count as, I'm not going to say they are my absolute favorite games from that generation, the Xbox 360 and PS3. But they're two games I have a lot of respect for. I'm going to skip probably most of the cutscenes because I've seen these a billion times. We'll see. See how I feel when I start it. I've been wanting to play through this game completely again. I've only finished it once. Actually, I'll just let this go. Whatever. I guess that's that, right? These games, when they came out, what made them cool to me is, look at them. Like, they might not look amazing now, but when they came out, they looked, like, so good. And they were so different from everything else that Capcom had done before. Like, I mean, Dead Rising's a zombie game, but it was the first one where you could see that many zombies in a single game.
80 years before
and then this game just had some really cool ideas. I like the setting.
Had abandoned the comfort of a familiar
I like the
world
idea of,
in order to attempt life on EDN3.
Well, I liked
As
the gameplay loop of the game. I thought the grappling hook was really cool.
Facilities were constructed to handle the
machines that you could use. But there was something about the game where I liked that you would like get knocked down, and it mattered. You could kind of get stun locked, which sort of sucks, but at the same time it's also kind of neat because it never happens in games for a reason. Especially in the multiplayer mode, which is like dead now. I don't think it was super popular back then, but I thought the multiplayer was pretty cool. This game also, as you can see, has the classic video game thing of like, wow, that thing looks cool. What do? Shoot the glowing weak point. You can see it on the monster right there too.
We've run into some trouble. This is bad.
With the expansion of the colony, humanity
This used to be one of my test games, and I wanted to see how well like new hardware was doing. I just run the benchmark tool for this.
Identified as a hostile presence. The humans had no weapons with which to repel Acrid aggression, and were forced to retreat from their new home.
Gotta hold them off. We'll do what we can. Ready. Surround that one. Eat this.
While fleeing from the enigmatic menace, the humans discovered the precious thermal energy lying within the very bodies of the Acrid. It was a powerful new energy source. Suddenly, humankind was determined to fight.
Charge! You want some of this? Damn you sons of bitches!
humans developed a weapon capable of fighting back against the Acrid Scourge, the Vital Suit, or VS. With VS technology, humanity has returned to EDN-3, and the great colonization experiment has resumed.
Sorry I was late. Better late than never.
Gale, we've got Acrid over here. Commencing attack. Roger that.
Platoon A has encountered hostiles. Platoon B, what's your situation?
Nothing here yet. Proceeding to the rendezvous point.
Understood. I'll see you there. What the? Look out! It's coming! Fall back!
Wait, where are you?
Dad!
Fall back. This is no time to be a hero.
Understood.
"22 years have passed since the second colonization. The VS has given humanity a means to battle the Acrid. But outside of direct combat with the monstrosities, there is no known method of harvesting the precious thermal energy.
Okay. So let me see.
Follow me.
There you go. All right. So this game, if you notice in the corner, I have that T-ing and that number is counting down. When they're talking about thermal energy, the idea is that you're like colonizing a frozen planet, which means that it's cold, and the thermal energy, I believe, is just supposed to be like a heat source and give them energy for different things. So like, the way it plays out in the game is that you end up just basically, you know, attacking monsters in their weak spot and then trying to get the energy stuff they have inside.
I'll disengage the lock.
Like, it's counting down, and I think the first few times I tried the game out, I had this issue where, like, occasionally I might just run out. I wouldn't be paying attention. That's also your damage meter, more or less. Can't get over there, I don't think. But, yeah, it's not that big of an issue. It's counting down now, but soon enough, like, I'll have a ton of it. And you can kind of keep it maxed out, or not maxed out, but, like, pretty high without, you know, having to really worry. There we go. There we go. If you use the controller with this game, one of the things that I forgot, so as you can see, I have an ammo counter. That's the thing that's in that life bar, little white bars that are underneath my crosshair. Push in the right stick to reload. There is no active reload. This game came out before Gears. What I remember was just the game that, as far as I know, like, pioneered that. Gears made reloading slightly more relevant to the gameplay. This thing up here is an enemy spawner. You can pick it up. Or pick up on that already. So you pretty much always want to try to take those things out as fast as you can. And then you have these things here, which are like markers. Those you go up to, press what is it, B, and then you mash buttons, and it shows you the direction to go and boost your energy. So there was a multiplayer mode where I think you had to like take over as many of those as you could.
Gale, you never mentioned that thing.
The fur tech on the jackets looked so cool too. One of the things that I like about this series in general, which of course you won't pick up just looking at this video right here, is that each game was something different. So this game is like, I don't know, just a 3D action game, like a third-person shooter or whatever. The second game is kind of like, it's this mixed with Monster Hunter, and then the third game I think tried to go for like a more like narrative-driven thing. I think it was from a different studio. The third game, I don't know. Personally, I never really clicked with it. I didn't really play it that either, so. Pacific was a little bit more serious. And that's when, I feel like that game came out when like Capcom was having issues trying to figure out what to do. I know some people say they still are, but it was even more so then. You had like Resident Evil 5 and 6, and Street Fighter was doing okay then. Alright, we're gonna enter this. But yeah, I think in general, like during that time, a lot of people tried to figure out what Capcom was going to do. If you can't tell, if you look on my crosshair right there, so if I use right trigger right now, that uses my right weapon, left trigger uses my left weapon. So that's kind of cool. You can actually customize anything a bit if I remember right. I think you can at least remove the weapons from them if you want to use it while you're on your feet. This was also a showcase at the time for DirectX 10.
The intruders in the dome have encountered the Green Eye.
I see. They had VSs, but they're up against the Green Eye.
Would you like us to investigate?
Yes, just in case. But take your time.
Understood.
You should have played alone. You had your chance. Now you will die like dogs.
I think if you have motion blurring on or something, I think it makes the jacket look better. It could just be a DirectX 10 thing. I'm running the DirectX 9 version right now, I believe, so because they just chose to launch Lost Planet instead of choosing the DirectX 10 version. But this game came out, from what I remember, came out in like March or something, I think. And I think Dead Rising came out at a weird time too, during like the Xbox 360's like first full year. It was like 2006. The 360 launched in like late 2005. So this was just a cool surprise to me. Like, you're sitting there looking for new games to come out. You know, everybody was still playing like Oblivion and Ghost Recon and Perfect Dark Zero. I think Geometry Wars was like the best-selling game. So having something like this show, I was like, wow, this is what the 360 can look like. Which compared to the PS2, this is to me, it's a pretty big upgrade.
You're full of surprises. That device on your
Lighting
arm
and
is
design
absorbing
goes
the
a
thermal
long way
energy
for this
for
game, in my
use in your
opinion.
body.
I think the monster designs are pretty cool. I think the fur on the jackets just seems so cool at the
Can I
time.
come in now?
Story is
The
kind of
thermal
whatever.
energy and your arm will be our little secret. It's complicated.
Come in.
Welcome back.
Who are you?
Me? I'm Yuri. That's Luca and Rick. Do you remember your name?
Wayne.
Excellent. You know, you were frozen inside your VS when we found you.
Green Eye.
Green Eye?
The Acrid that killed my father.
Do you remember anything else?
No. Nothing.
It might just be temporary amnesia. You should rest.
Job's done.
Thanks. How's it going?
How's what going?
Well, you seem to be feeling a lot better. And it looks like you're starting to get used to life here.
I don't know about that.
Come on inside. I'll fix you something to warm you up.
Isn't there some way around?
I've tried everything. There's no other way. We can't avoid the Acrid if we want to reach our destination.
If only one of us could pilot a VS.
I can.
What?
Huh?
You can?
I remember how to pilot one.
We need your help, Wayne. We could use an able pilot.
We're trying to eradicate the Acrid from this world, one hive at a time. The Green Eye that killed your father is one of them. We're looking into finding that one, but in the meantime, we could really use your skill.
All right.
Look at all the pouches on that
Show me
dude's
to the first
jacket.
hive.
We do know of one in the
There's
vicinity,
unnecessary, like,
but are you sure you're up to
buttons,
this?
the button strap
Quite.
things. There's a
All right,
zipper on that
I'll
jacket
give
too
you
in the middle.
details.
It's me critiquing Japanese character design. So let's see. It's not going to show up in the stream, but one of the things, I don't remember if it was like this on the 360 or not, but the frame rate of the game, the fact that it looked like this,
Wayne, you should be able to use that VS.
And-
At least it beats walking.
you know, you got the cool little effects like the dust, or not dust, but the snow popping up when you jump. That was pretty cool. And the frame rate's just, it's running at 60. It's running at a solid 60 right now. And if I turn off VSync, I think it goes up to like 100 and something. I have a tendency to max out my frame rates because I'm not using a fancy, you know, monitor or anything.
Initializing.
So as you can see, this one right here only has one gun on it, which means I can't use the left one. They also end up with different properties, like this one can't cover. And this has a limited amount of ammo too. So keep an eye on that.
There should be a data post in the vicinity. If you find it, be sure to activate it. The data post holds small deposits of thermal energy, so you can refuel at active rest.
Ready. Initializing.
That's another thing that was kind of cool about this game. I mean, you know, Grand Theft Auto was out by this point, so it's not too impressive, I guess. But the ability to hop in these things is really cool. And these enemies that have multiple weak points. The back one's the main one, but if I take out the arms... Let's see. It shouldn't kill it, it should just make it like limp. Yeah, so it only has one arm left right now. Which... to me that was pretty cool. And then they just turn into ice, and instead of having to shoot them, you can just walk into it. It's another, like, thing that was pretty cool at the time. I think this is one of those games where you can only have, like, 2 weapons. This also, I don't know if this was in the original game, but they added in a first-person mode. This scene here was particularly cool because you're going through, and then you enter a parking garage. But... like, shoot this. Those explosions looked so damn cool.
They're crawling all over the place, Wayne. You need to cut the Acrid off at the source.
I think these monster designs are really neat still. The ground buttholes, gotta destroy those. I think they might use a similar explosion. I could be wrong, but RE5, like when you throw grenades and stuff, I think it was the same. At least remember. Oh, I'm full on grenades, so I don't really need that over there. Just want to make sure my regular ammo is pretty much maxed. Alright, so that's full. So 9999. Or 999 is max for that, and I think the T-ing goes up to 9,999.
You've activated the data post.
And as you can see, like I said, the waypoint thing, it points in the direction you need to go to. So, if you get lost, you can just kind of access one of those, or look at one of them to get an idea. Something that is kind of a bummer about this game, not really, is, as you can see, I can use this grappling hook to, like, pull myself places, and that was super cool on multiplayer.
Or even VS might be buried underneath the snow.
Let's see. I don't remember. It's my flashlight. There we go. I think these might blow up. Nope. Rocket launcher. Whoops. Yeah, so as you notice, I took a pretty much direct hit right there. But my energy will keep going back up because like my life will still go up as long as I have that T-ing. So that was kind of a weird system to me. Like, I saw what they were going for, I get the idea, but it also meant that, like, sometimes certain things just didn't matter. Like, there are moments when it seems like you should be worried about, like, how much damage you're taking, and, like, you don't have to because you got enough T-ing to cover you. Rocket launcher is a lot worse than I remember it being. I don't worry too much about that. I don't remember what the achievements were for this game, but there are there's like Capcom letters on the stages in this game. To me personally, just doing this made so much more sense than like using a rocket launcher.
The boulders in your area could fall at any moment. You might be able to use them to your advantage, but be careful not to get crushed yourself.
Something about this game, they're not even remotely the same, but I keep thinking about this game, and it also makes me want to play through Alan Wake again, which I might just have to go for. I think Alan Wake, in my memory, that is a game that I remember seeing for years. That game looks awesome. Finally getting to play it on the PC and being really disappointed. But then later I realized, like, oh, you know what I'm doing wrong is I'm trying to play this like a first-person shooter or a regular action game, and in the game Alan Wake, you don't have to be super accurate. They kind of want you to just point in a direction. So it's the kind of game that works better, in my opinion, with the controller. Certainly screwed myself right there. Another rocket launcher. I thought that was such a cool effect. The first time that you see this area, it just looks so damn neat. So these things go out here and they just kind of like swarm. They're never a huge threat. It's not like, you know, certain games where you have to worry about these things like knocking you into a pit. There's just usually a lot of them. But them coming out of there look really cool. And then you go from there, and this environment to me just sort of made sense. It just kind of flowed naturally. So you go from there and then you're in here, which this was one of the like super cool looking moments to me. It's an inverse Bethesda moment. Bethesda moments tend to put you in a cage like this, and then at a certain point you kind of like come out and you're in the open world going, wow. To me, this game, you're outside a lot. And then when you get to this cave, just because of the lighting and stuff and how many enemies there are, it just looks so damn cool. Thought there might be something up there. I've never tried to take that path before. Guess not. But yeah, this moment. So this right here, the weapon is blue. That is one of the kinds of weapons that you would put on the like robot suit things. I'll just, you know, I'm gonna hold on to this. If I switch my weapon here, I'll lose my secondary, so let's take that into account. This is the worst thing that these do right here. They just kind of like slow you down occasionally. These things down here are explosives or something. Nope. I'm wrong. I remember that wrong. I remember something blowing up. I think it's... What is that? What is this? This is one of the letters I was talking about. Maybe it's not Capcom. It spells something though. obviously. I don't remember these things just being sources of energy. Yes, they are. I thought I took damage from those, but I guess not. But yeah, this just looked so damn neat. So one of the things that's weird about this game, as you can see, I'm using this, machine gun still. Which usually when you see a weapon like that in the game, it means that, you kind of need it. To, like, clear the area out. But this game, once you realize, like, oh, as long as you have that teeing stuff, you're good. It doesn't seem like this machine gun is, like, necessary. If anything, I would rather just get it. I thought that this path right here, when I actually looked down, it was kind of cool. Just because of the transparency effect. Got a boss fight room. Put it on. Oh my gosh, get off. Yeah, there we go. So it's attached. I can enter. I've got 2 weapons. One of the things about the enemies in this game is you can't see it right now because I'm like all up on this thing, but like when you hit him, you can notice that if you look at his frame rate, like his animations, they like slow down depending on how much they're getting hit or where they're getting hit at. It's a thing that can apply to like regular human style enemies too, and they can work in multiplayer. So that was one of the things about the game that some people, they hated. But to me, it made the multiplayer unique because no other game would do that. That's it. So basically, I fired at this thing like twice, and it's already gone. Then the abrupt stage ending. Here you go. It seems like everything is kind of like flowing pretty good, and then all of a sudden it just goes to like stage over. I never went back to look for all the letters because I don't think it actually does anything. I think it was just like achievements on the 360 version. Alright. Let's continue.
It's time to face down Crimson Unity.
What?
Crimson Unity?
A band of rival snow
Pirates.
They killed our
comrades and stole our trailer.
If we get the trailer back, we can maintain the VS and continue our assault on the Acrid hives. But it won't be easy.
Just a moment.
Fighting is the only thing I remember. I'll do it.
Great.
But before that, tell me about these snow pirates.
The snow pirates? You mean you don't know?
Where do I begin? This world was first discovered 150 years ago.
The humans couldn't resist the vicious attacks of the Acrid. They even had to abandon the colony once. Only a few privileged made it off-world.
I'm back. I just had to go across the room.
And eventually became snow pirates.
Exactly. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
I'll form a
Plan of attack. Wayne, come on back. We'll discuss our next action then.
Got it.
I just had this thought where this game is kind of like... It's kind of like a more narrative and less crazy version of Earth Defense Force. But I mean, Earth Defense Force, I think, might have started in, like, say, 2004, 2005, I'm guessing, in Japan on the PS2 in the Simple 2000 series, if I remember right. But it wouldn't have come out in the US, I don't think, until, like, maybe 2007 or 2008. And it was a game that, when it came out on the 360, it looked like a budget PS2 game. Like, maybe, like, a really high-quality PS2 game that just came out on the 360 instead. And those games always have that look. This game looks so much better than the Earth Defense Force stuff does, in my opinion. Just from, like, you know, visual design, and I mean, it's actually got a story that makes sense, which that's part of the charm of those Earth Defense Force games. But man, I swear, going from this game right here, going from playing Skyrim, or not Skyrim, Oblivion, and then playing this, and also playing Dead Rising was so cool. I do want to revisit, speaking of early 360 games, I want to revisit Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, because that was the game, that and Oblivion were the two games that kind of sold me on this system. I remember getting, like, almost every single launch game that was out for the 360 because there was, like, nothing forever. So this, I thought, was a really cool bit of, like, environmental storytelling. Like, there's some sort of battle here, and it's like everybody just kind of had to leave before they could get the energy. And this entire stage, until you get to a certain point, you're kind of like... It just feels like you're sort of like going through something that could be a trap, or... like... just, it's something different. Everything just kind of feels abandoned. I'm sure you notice right now, the gamma in this game, because, you know, you're on a snow planet, is super high, which means that, like, you can't... The contrast on this thing right here is just a white wall. I'm basically giving myself, like, taking a lot more damage than I need to here, just because... I do want to revisit, well, Ghost Recon I want to play because I love those games. And Advanced Warfighter was different from the other Ghost Recon games at the time. I think it was like a third-person action game on 360. I think the PC version is a little bit more traditional. But I would love to play Perfect Dark Zero. I wish I could stream it. I think I can play it on the Xbox One, but that doesn't really like do any good. That game, I remember, was something that, you know, was covered in so many magazines. Like, oh, it's got dynamic stage design and all this other cool buzzwords. And you played the game and it was just kind of like, oh, this game's really missing something. This was also something else that was really cool at the time. I don't know what this game looked like. There's a little bit of controversy with Dead Rising, where the font in the game was super tiny. And if you look at this game, if you look at, you know, how the shotgun and machine gun labels are, you can read it, but it's designed to be played in HD. Dead Rising pushed that even more, and at the time most people had CRT TVs, even if they had a, you know, 360. Because freaking HD TVs at the time were really expensive. So it just meant that you could, like, barely read the text. And I remember, you know, hearing that in stories and stuff on websites, not really getting it. And I went to a friend's house who didn't upgrade to an HD TV until, like, 2010, 2011. And I remember, like, every single game was impossible to read. But he was still playing them. Memories.
With so many Akrid in the area, the pirate base must be in a location they can't reach.
Almost out of shotgun ammo, so I'm gonna switch to using this for a bit. Cool. I thought again, because of the design of the game, like, you know, you're on this frozen planet, I thought one of the things that looked super cool about this is all the abandoned street lights and seeing them sway like that. Street lights and street signs, even though you can't read them necessarily, it just looked neat. It was a little detail that, like, you know, you wouldn't necessarily get in games back then. I don't think you would get in a game now. Like, they don't really do games that are in abandoned cities besides, like, The Last of Us. But you know what? There are all those post-apocalyptic games, and I mean, it's from the action games, like, you don't always see that. Definitely wouldn't see something like this. Like, this is just a speed limit sign. You've got, like, whatever's on there. Yep. This is the era from when water wasn't necessarily going to look amazing in games. Water was always the thing that, you know, you would go to. It was always, for new graphics, it's like, oh, how good does the water look? This looks like it's something. It's definitely something. At least it's response to the bullets. But I mean, you're never in water because you're on a frozen planet, so whatever. But it was always water, and specifically the wrestler Triple H's hair. Like, how good does his hair look in games? Because those games tend to focus a little bit more on that stuff. Alright, there we go. I remember people joking when Triple H shaved his head. People joked like, "Oh my God, how are we supposed to know how good these games look now?" So couldn't tell.
Larger equipment wouldn't be able to get to the bridge. Wait,
Doubt.
you see a way up there?
This thing went over the best. Flamethrower, right? Shotgun. I don't want that. The Dark Souls. Look at those iframes. The game is like the Dark Souls, the game's called Lost Planet.
We're screwed. Pirates. Their hideout must be nearby.
So these are the enemy space pirate things. I'm calling them space pirate because of Metroid. Whatever. Ice pirates, snow pirates, whatever they want to call themselves. To me, when I had first played this game, they look like Ewoks. They're Ewok-esque about their design. I'm trying to cut this thing's arm also. Get down there and not have to worry about some of it. Is this a shotgun or something? Oh, it's another machine gun. I'll take it, whatever. Why is that up there? I was gonna say, it's not supposed to be able to get up here. So when you play multiplayer, what just happened right there is one of those things that ends up being like super important, where you're trying to kind of stagger the enemy. Instead. I know I'm
That
misremembering
dilapidated building
this.
should provide some outcroppings to anchor onto. Look around.
But I feel like I remember this game doing the thing that Titanfall does, where you could, like, if somebody was in a robot suit, you could kind of, like, hop in there and attack them from above. You could get an angle on them. You could use your, like, grappling to do something with them. I'm probably remembering that wrong, though. We'll see. If it's in here, it would come up in single player, I think. I can't aim that high up. That guy's still fine. What I would like to be able to do is jump and shoot this, but I can't. I gotta do it. I have to stay still when I do it, so it's kind of a bummer. Sucks. I'm not gonna die. The thing about those shootable, collectible letter things is that part of the reason why I never really had fun looking for them is I like when you play a game and there's some sort of like, if you're gonna have collectibles, I want them to be something kind of neat, or you know, maybe gameplay relevant. But like those things are just sort of out of the way, so a lot of times it just kind of feels like you're just sort of wasting time, like you're just looking for specifically those, which I've never thought was really fun. I feel the same way about achievements in general. When I was younger, when achievements were new, like when this game was out, I would have spent a bunch of time looking for stuff like that because, you know, I want to get all the achievements. Transform. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. I remember using these and never really liking them because they're bikes, more or less. Now, you would assume that that explosion right there would kill this guy. No, that's not how this game works. Explosions are not necessarily the best thing. They look pretty cool, but man, they're not, like, super useful for anybody. I'm just picking this up because it's a secondary. I'd rather have a shotgun. Nice. There he is. It's like somebody's got a rocket launcher here. Somebody always has a rocket launcher. We have a machine gun and another machine gun. Not gonna go out of my way to get that. They try to make it, you know, feel kind of cool that you can snipe enemies, but like, what's the point? It's... I mean, maybe, I guess, just for the long run, like, I don't have to deal with them, but it seems like it's so unnecessary. I don't personally remember, but I'm sure that type of stuff was probably done a lot better in the multiplayer mode. There's a letter here. I thought there was like a... Man, I thought there was something else I could do. Maybe there is. Maybe there's an item I'm not seeing here. I guess not. Like, who cares? That is absolutely the thing I was thinking of right there in the game, where you can like hop on the robot thingy. Brilliant tacticians. Military genius. That dude had a giant robot suit. He decided, I'm just gonna stand in this corner. So for me, when I did this part originally, I thought it was like a stealth segment. Stealth section, whatever. But it's not. Because I think like... Yeah, like once you shoot somebody, it doesn't matter. It's like they were going for something, but they weren't really sure, and you can't sneak up on anybody, because when you get close to them, they just know you're there. Oh boy. None of that really felt necessary, but I'm going to do it because I can. I'm using a 360 controller, or sorry, a PS3 controller, so thank God for that stealth grenade to mix that guy up.
Open fire!
Gotta hop down. There he is. Oh, I'm full on my ammo. It's crazy to think that this game here came out before Call of Duty 4 did. Like, it seems so weird, and I think back to like, oh yeah, there was a point in time before that game existed. That game just seems like one of those things that's just always been there. It's kind of like if you go back and you play games before Super Mario Brothers, and like you notice certain things about them, especially platforms, are like, oh, none of this makes any sense. It's because they didn't have the same rules, because the game that kind of set the rules for the genre wasn't around yet. Not that this game and Call of Duty 4 are similar, but still. One of those neat things about games, I guess.
Fire! 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 Fire!
I'm pretty sure if I knew more about film, I'd have the same, like, things that you notice where, like, you know, before a certain movie comes out, things are different. Hero. I thought these hallways even looked cool back then. Because, you know, there are plenty of like brown and gray games on the PS2, but something about just the lighting in these places just looks so neat, and the textures that they use. Like, this looks like a worn down hallway in a way that you wouldn't necessarily get in other games on, you know, previous generations.
Proceed with caution.
I will.
Nice. What a cutscene. So this game kind of wants you to... And they want you to think that you're doing something that you're not. The most useful thing that you can do with this is like, maybe I can snipe this guy up on this turret here if I'm lucky. I'm gonna try it one more time. Oh. Oh shoot. Those energy guns. If you notice up on the top left over there, over here, there is a purple waypoint. The purple ones mean that the other team has them. Or, you know, in this case, the other, like, the enemy AI has them. So this is kind of like their base. Which means that in order to take it over, it's not like it's just gone. You just have to do a little bit more work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I have to convert it back to neutral, and then I have to shoot, or you know, mess with it some more, and then it's going to be like fine. That thing right there that he's shooting at me, that is what you end up needing to shoot the people out of the turrets, if I remember right. You kind of like overload the machines that they're in. And that's one of those weapons where, like, you might not necessarily want to use it. It kind of depends on how you play. Like, it doesn't do a lot of regular damage. I'm going to attempt to do it to knock those guys out of those turrets over there and probably get this guy off with this stupid suit. That crap is annoying. It's not even hitting me, it's just there. It's just constantly there. Whoops. I don't think that this is as in-depth as like the system from Halo, where you know you got your energy weapons and your plane weapons, but it's kind of similar. Let me take a picture of that. It's pretty dumb looking. The shadow on the ground, it's just on top, pretty much nothing. Let's see. This is it. Swap my rifle for this. So this, I think, uses up your energy for the teeing, but so we've got a guy in this up here. I'm charging it all the way up. Looks like this. And I think when it hits, it should make the guy pop out. Yeah, there he goes. Same with this here. Not sure why the thing is dropping down. I'll aim over it, maybe it'll go up in there. I don't know. It's doing it again. Oh my goodness. What the hell? Whatever. This line.
Engaging PDA.
I thought that would work. What a dumb idea. There's lots of little small animations in this game that I think look pretty cool. Like, if you notice when I was walking away from that guy that was on that tower, when he shot that rocket at me, the character kind of stumbled a bit because it wasn't like a full hit. But that looked super cool back then. Alright. I should open this door here. No. No, I guess I just walk up to it. Oh boy. See, I'm getting hit a ton, which should matter more than it does, but it doesn't matter at all. It'll matter more when I'm in here because this thing I think has like, you know, like a definite like amount of life on it. since fully stocked. I think I got a... Alright, so I've got a Gatling gun on my right arm. I have a shotgun on my left arm. Where's this stupid thing at? Awkward ending. It just kind of stops. I don't know who that guy was supposed to be or anything. It's just, here's somebody else in another suit. Fight them.
Rick, hand me that wrench.
Got it.
Check that out over there.
That doesn't look good.
It's in better shape than I expected.
The engine's dead. We need to replace it before we can get the trailer running again.
All in good time.
Gotta move in first.
Yuri!
A PDA.
Anything interesting?
Hold on a sec. I just have to break some encryption. It's no good. This will take a while.
Just a modern cell phone.
Yuri.
Oh, it's nothing. All right, try to hurry it up. There might be something about the green eye on there. Wayne?
Wayne!
The Harmonizer. It's a part of your life. That Harmonizer won't work without thermal energy. If it starts to run low, you'll experience searing pain shooting through your body. Left that way, it will start to affect your brain, and then... death.
What?
All those pouches. For what? He's got like, what is it like? Is it just one, or I think it's one on his sleeves and then like 6 on his chest. Why?
Just what the hell is going on? Explain yourself. That thermal energy supply is for emergencies only. What happened to it?
I gave it to Wayne.
Yuri, just who is that guy? You've been hiding something ever since we rescued him. But you better tell me. Now!
If you knew, it might create a rift between you two.
And it's fast becoming a canyon. How can I trust someone I don't know?
This.
Oh.
Wayne.
How's the PDA analysis going?
Oh, it's done now. We've updated the map, so take a look.
Oh, good.
It's faint, but I'm sensing a heat signature located across the snow plain. We need some fuel for the trailer, so check it out. I'll be working on the engine in the meantime.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. This is actually, usually when I start playing this game, this is usually like a point where I just take a break. So, anyway, I will be back later and This game, I think, personally holds up pretty good if you can accept what it is. It's kind of a... I'm not going to say a dumb action game. It's kind of a dumb action game. I really love the setting. The story stuff is whatever. It's kind of anime. It's from Capcom at like 2006 or something. But I think having to look around for energy in order to survive out here is pretty cool. I think the weapons are pretty good. I think the sound effects and stuff are job done. Explosions still look pretty dope. Alright, anyway, we're back. See ya. Peace.